Nicolas Cage, I hope you live a long life. I want to face off part 2. I'm going to take his face off. Alright, that's it. When I die, you know the rest. Bury me in a pyramid. Does it sound like him? I don't know if that sounds like him.
I know you gonna dig this. Get funky with me.
What? Ooh. What? What? What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? So here I am in New Orleans. And St. Louis Cemetery, number 1. There's 2, there's 3. I think there's 3. It's locked. You gotta take a tour. You can't go in there by yourself. People hop the fence, try to do it, you'll get caught. Jeff is my tour guide. He's gonna be shut up, bus! He's gonna be taking me around. Now there's Marie Laveau, the voodoo priestess. There's a few other really cool graves in here, and it's supposed to be one of the most haunted cemeteries in the world, and it's just crumbling graves, all that sort of thing. I'm really fascinated though. I'm really here for one reason, which is kind of sad. Nicolas Cage has a plot here, and it's bizarre. It's a pyramid. He has a pyramid plot. When I die, bury me in a pyramid. That's probably what he said to them, and they built it. It's here. That's a bad Nicolas Cage. It's the best you're gonna get. When I die, bury me in a pyramid. He does that a lot. When I die, bury me in a pyramid. There's a pyramid in here, owned by Nicolas Cage. We're gonna take the tour. Jeff's gonna take over. He's awesome. And let's go see what it's like inside St. Louis Cemetery. Numero 1.
Hey, Alvin, go ahead and give you guys a ticket. To Alvin. First job here, answer questions. And it's slow. Wait till it gets busy. All day long. Oh, God. Ladies, we're all done.
Here we go. We're inside, and here's our tour guide. Wow.
So we're in St. Louis, number 1. Oldest above ground cemetery in New Orleans. Started putting bodies here like 1780. Still putting bodies here. Look, 2017. The cemetery used to go all the way across the street to the church. Then we put train tracks right through it. Now it's that road. Things can only be so sacred. Eventually got to build on it. Superdome. My house is the French Quarter. Everything's built on bodies. We're still putting bodies in the cemetery because we ran out of room to put people in the ground. You guys notice that when you flew in, it was just swamp houses, right? There's no room to put people in the ground. We have 100 above ground cemeteries in New Orleans. They're all still in use because there's no room to put people in the ground.
Wow.
The only reason we have above ground cemeteries in New Orleans is because we were settled by the Spanish. Anywhere the Spanish settled, you get above ground crypts. And these crypts work as human compost piles. 200 degrees Fahrenheit inside. They bake and rot bodies. It stinks. I've smelt this before. Tradition is a year and 1 day. You leave a body undisturbed for a year and 1 day. After a year and 1 day, if somebody else in the family dies, you're allowed to open up the crypt, take the casket out, take the remains out of the casket, bash up the remains sometimes. Sometimes they just put them back in whole. And then you got room, push them all the way back. Then you got room for a brand new casket with a brand new body. You just etch another name on. Each crypt can hold 60, 70, 80 people. 3 people can die in 1 year. 4 people die in 1 year. You break tradition, go early. It's just tradition, it's not law. Or you find a holding spot, like an oven vault behind you.
Wow.
So this is Marie Laveau's tomb. Marie Galopian. Galopian is her married name. Her and her daughter took on that last name. 1897 is the date her daughter died. This is Marie Laveau's daughter's tomb. She's one of many powerful women in New Orleans history. There were many powerful women in New Orleans history because we had no case precedents in our law that allowed women and Africans owned property before that was acceptable in the rest of the United States. There were so many powerful women and Africans in the city. When the United States took control of New Orleans did not allow the United States to remove us from that style of law. All of Louisiana still practices today. That's why our sidewalks are junk. Somebody trips and falls on our sidewalk in the French Quarter, seriously hurts himself, successfully sues the city, it won't set a precedence for the next person. Only place like that in the United States, in Louisiana. It's common law versus civil law. United States is common law like Canada and England. Louisiana civil law like Italy, Germany, and Spain. Common law marriage doesn't exist in Louisiana for civil law. To be a notary, you got to take something equivalent to take the bar exam, just like Italy, Germany, and Spain. Canada, same thing.
Yeah.
Montreal is civil law, right?
Correct.
And Canada's common law. So, Marie Laveau was born in 1790, lived to be 90 years old. So did her daughter. She was one of the first African millionaires in the United States. She owned 3 houses in the French Quarter alone. More properties than that. How'd she make all her money? She was practicing natural remedies when they're very important, but demonized and made illegal by the male aristocratic. In Europe, the United States, we were burning witches at the stake. Why? Don't believe in morality, right? There was a Western medicine power grab. Those women had the power of medicine. If you wanted it, they wanted it, so they killed them and took it. If you got yellow fever in the 1800s, you're better off to go see somebody like Marie Laveau. She can lower your temperature and boost your immune system. All the voodoo hoopla works as a placebo effect and scares the snot out of people. African woman walking around while slavery is going on, people being afraid of you is not a bad thing. She is beautiful, intelligent, and politically savvy. One of many powerful women in New Orleans history. These 3 X's resemble 3 knocks to wake her up. And then offerings are placed here asking her for a favor. Please don't do this, and definitely don't do that. This is recent. Somebody took their keys out and did the 3 X's over her name.
Oh, wow, that's awful.
1897 plaque. I'm okay with the finger. And then take pictures, and we're going to move on. Marie Laveau. Those are from last night.
All last night?
And within the last 3 days.
Wow.
Do you guys come daily and remove them?
So this is a wall vault. Look how far it sank. Everything's built on clay and mud. If you dig, you can't even find a pebble.
Wow.
All the tall buildings in the CBD are built on compacted clay 70 feet down. So notice a lot of these crypts that we're looking at aren't sinking. We're looking at 50% of the structure. There's a massive brick foundation underneath that stops them from sinking. This crypt did not sink because it's sitting on a mountain of bricks.
Oh, boy.
So we have a TMZ subject.
This is it.
I hate TMZ and entertainment so much. Comes on TV, I wake up in a panic and hit random buttons so the TV goes off. So let's take this TMZ subject and turn it into NPR. Super easy, right? This is Nicolas Cage's crypt. In Latin, everything to one. There's a plaque for women to kiss.
He put a plaque for women to kiss.
Well, he did not. There was a lot of kiss marks all over the crypt.
Right.
And that was super ugly. He's very proud of this crypt. He still comes here for like every 3 years that I know of. And he saw a bunch of kiss marks. He was not happy, so a plaque was placed there. It's not vanity. A lot of times, people take this time to make fun of Nicolas Cage.
Right.
Open up my eyes! My eyes! Ah! Ah!
I'm not making fun of the guy that gave us Valley Girl. 1980s classic movie, West Side Story, right? Romeo, Juliet, punks and preppies. Adaptation, Raising Arizona, Bring Out the Dead.
Wild at Heart, Face Off.
I'm not making fun of that guy.
Guy's incredible.
He's incredible. Nicholas, why does he have a crypt in the cemetery? Well, New Orleans is a home to Nicolas Cage. He grew up coming to his uncle's house. Francis Ford Coppola has a house in the French Quarter. His last name is Coppola, Nicolas Cage. Changed it for nepotism. He didn't want nepotism. The city is a home for freaks and geeks, myself included, with no pretension. Nobody walks up to you and be like, look how weird I am. I'm so weird. You can't handle this much weirdness. Right? People are just organically weird in the city. We also don't dehumanize famous people. John Goodman, I see him once a month at my coffee shop. Nobody says, hey, I love your stuff. Can I get your picture? We don't dehumanize famous people. This is the island of misfit toys. This is the most normal I've ever felt in my entire life. I was a freak where I came from. Now I'm the most normal person there is. So Nicolas Cage also filmed 6 movies in the city before we became Hollywood South. We are currently filming a lot of movies in the city. We're filming a movie in town right now that's huge. When you guys are in the yellow building, you look across the street in the parking lot, all movie trucks. We're filming a massive movie in town right now.
Do we know what it is?
We have no idea. 2 weeks ago, they were filming the Mike Tyson movie, the brand new Mike Tyson movie. I just watched the Will Ferrell movie with The Campaign, and I was like, oh my God, that's Gretna across the river.
Right.
My mom rented an Airbnb on Esplanade, and I walked in and I'm like, this looks familiar. It was Tall Girl's Bedroom from Netflix. So before we became Hollywood South, Nicolas Cage filmed 6 movies in this city. He directed his first movie, Sunny, in the city. From what I understand, this was an abandoned crypt. He was able to find a sliver of relations. I don't know the specifics of it. He gave some money and was able to build this tomb.
So he did build the pyramid. It was
Did build the pyramid.
It was just a crypt that was here, and they took it down.
I think it was
crypt.
already dilapidated.
So they
That's
open
my
it.
understanding.
It opens there, and
It opens there. That's
That's
where his casket
crazy.
would go.
So there's no one else in there?
There's people in the ground.
Yeah.
there's people in the ground.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. And how many Cage family members is he?
0 so far.
No, is there going to be?
I don't know.
There's room for more than just Nicholas.
Absolutely.
I'm saying. Oh
With
yeah.
our tradition, absolutely.
What does that mean?
Everything to one.
Everything to one. When I die, put me in a pyramid.
Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. It's gotta be something. There is no beginning, there is no end. Kind of
It'd be
something.
very, very cool that he could film while he's doing his tour. That's awesome. That's Nicholas Cage. When I die, put me in a pyramid. Right there. So that's the best impression you're gonna get. I've got almost the same hairline as him. Right there, Nicolas Cage. Going in there. One day. It's not so weird when you're here looking at it. Makes sense.
This is Italian society tomb. All these small tombs are family tombs. These big tombs are society tombs. It's expensive for burial, and it's hard to find a spot in New Orleans in the 1800s. So ethnicities would come together and share the cost. $40,000 to make this place. All imported Italian marble.
Wow. And it's crumbling. It's
40,000, that's it, huh?
Well,
in 18,
Yeah,
in 18,
can you
whatever.
Imagine this now.
No.
Oh my God.
1,000 people are buried.
How many?
Like 1,000.
In here?
Yeah.
1,000 people?
That's my understanding.
Can you walk right in there?
Yeah. Yep. That's where they another place to put bodies.
Oh my God.
What is it?
The 2 girls from New York. Take a look.
Architect that designed this. Not only did we import the marble, we imported the architect. Came from Italy.
Wow.
He's one of the first people to be buried in here. He died of yellow fever. Well, at least we think yellow fever.
There's no year on it?
Nope.
Not anymore.
But he's buried in here. It was hard to live in an old age living in New Orleans.
Metro
Right?
Wild.
You're gonna die of yellow fever, cholera, something's gonna get you. So why do people live here? Money. We're the 4th biggest city in the United States. It's a good place to make money. This is where Easy Riders filmed. Jack Nicholson, Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper. Took LSD. Removed their clothes with ladies and got on top of this crypt.
This is the crypt from Easy. I knew it was filmed here. I wasn't sure which one it was.
Last movie ever filmed in the cemetery.
Easy Rider. Wow.
They won't allow it anymore? Or?
No, because they were on LSD and removed their clothes. Right?
They're still holding a grudge.
Still holding a grudge on this. It's the
Mm.
last movie ever filmed in the cemetery. Double Jeopardy was filmed in the Garden District. We have 100 above ground cemeteries in New Orleans. Everything from like Vampire Diaries, Double Jeopardy, it was all at different cemeteries. Double Jeopardy pretended like it was this one. But they couldn't film here because of Easy Rider. Easy Rider is an iconic movie of the 1960s. Most of your 1960s movies, like, just have happy hippies trying to save the world. That's not really what... There was dangerous cults, dangerous drugs, racism, captured all of it. All of it. Just like Breakfast Club captured my generation. Easy Rider.
Easy Rider.
Here's Bernard Dimitry, guy that gave us Frenchman Street and Craps.
Oh, wow.
Bernard Dimitry, I think, was worth $7 million when he turned 15 because his father passed away. He was wild already. His family decided to send him off to England, make a gentleman out of him. He came back even worse, womenizing, gambling, and dueling. He dueled his whole life to the end of his life. He lost his fortune. Oh, by the way, craps. He brought craps to the United States like this. Like Crapo is the name of a toad. Craps comes from toad. So he lost his fortune. He came up with a great plan to get his fortune back. He took his family plantation and made the first suburbs to the French Quarter, the Marigny. Named all the streets, like a streetcar named Desire. Desire Street, Frenchman Street. All the streets in the Marigny were named by him. He made his fortune back. He was charitable. He dueled. He gambled. He womanized. His son died during a duel. Became fiercely against dueling. Made a law against dueling. That's why we have the dueling oaks in City Park. Dueling had to be outside the city. He lost his fortune again, unfortunately. Did not die a rich man. This is Bernard Dimitry. We're in the Treme right now, named after the man that owned the property, Claude Treme. Let's go this way.
It's a pretty tiny cemetery.
It's very small.
How many acres?
No idea. It can't be much more than 3.
3, yeah.
Or 4.
It's tiny.
See, I own 2 acres in Michigan. It's got to be close to 2 acres.
Yeah.
Does it feel like 2 acres?
Yeah. And these are all people all in these walls right here to the left.
My property was bigger than, in Michigan, my property was bigger than the cemetery. It's got to be, yeah, I think you're right. It's probably smaller than 2 acres. Maybe even an acre.
Some of these look a little newer, like this one.
Yeah, it's not. It's just got perpetual care.
Oh, okay. Oh boy.
So this is the Protestants.
Okay.
Notice we ran out of the room. Not very long, right? Protestants. You can make marry. So if you're born in New Orleans, you're born Catholic. 1700s, early 1800s. Americans started moving here when we took control, and Protestants started coming here to make money, and they're buried in the ground on the other side. Ran out of room right away. Right? This is not a good way to go. Here's the guy that designed the Capitol building, Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
There's a senator in the cemetery. There's 2 congressmen, several governors. The guy that brought granulated sugar. There's a lot of important, famous people in the cemetery.
So the guy that designed the Capitol's here.
Right here. Yeah, right here.
This is this right here.
This
oh
is
my. Huh.
The very first governor was Governor Claiborne. His wife and daughter are buried right here. They've died of yellow fever. This is his first wife. His second wife, who is Catholic, is right there.
This one right here?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
People make fun of this situation where they're right next to each other and she's not facing her. I actually see this as a beautiful thing. If you actually truly love somebody and you die, you want them to be happy after you leave. My stepfather just passed away 3-4 years ago. And my mom's dating and she feels guilty about it. I know for a fact my stepfather would want my mom to be happy. Right? So this is a beautiful thing. I don't think there was any animosity at all. That's why they're buried right next to each other.
So wife, daughter, second wife, where's he?
I don't know. It's probably Baton Rouge, but I don't know.
It's wandering over by myself over to look at these crypts up here. You see it's getting dark and stormy already. And a little bit of wind. I hope you can hear me okay, and I'm happy for the wind actually for the first time ever while I'm filming because the humidity is insane here.
This one right here says
Oh, it's awful. But New Orleans, you win. I love this city.
all these actually tell you how the people died. Does that one tell you how they died?
The army.
Really? There's one that drowned in the Mississippi River right over here.
Do we know why there's a life preserver, or is that a wreath? A wreath. Looks like a life preserver.
All right, guys, let's head back in.
The defense of the city of New Orleans.
Fell in a duel.
Fell in a duel.
Now, what exactly is a duel?
Yeah, here was that
Yeah,
swords,
pistols at dawn.
pistols. Okay.
A duel can
Fell-
be anything.
this
It
guy
could be
died in a
swords,
duel.
It could be fist fights. Most often it was pistols.
So, the brother of the wife with the daughter,
You go like this,
step,
you're so far away, it'd be fire.
second wife.
Misfires, right?
Where's the guy? We don't know.
People, I mean, if they were like modern day guns, there's no way people are like, duels at dawn, right? There's no way people do that. They're very accurate and very powerful.
Wow, take a look at this. What's
Some people say this is Dr. John's crypt. Dr. John is a famous voodoo priest
Right.
in New Orleans. It also might just be a fake Marie Laveau tomb, right? It's very hard to go to see the Marie Laveau tomb back in the day. Tour guides were in here. People would monopolize it. So there are several crypts in this cemetery that are fake Marie Laveau tombs.
They actually made them as fake ones?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because if you're waiting 15 minutes in line to see the real one, you're losing money. The more tours I do, the more money I make. So the story goes, my family's back from the 1800s, and my great-grandmother brought my mother here to pay homage to Marie Laveau because we know that she's actually buried here. People are afraid that they didn't put her in her family tomb because they're afraid somebody would break in, steal her remains because they had magical power. But the truth is, they just didn't want to wait in line to show you the real Marie Laveau tomb.
Oh.
That's supposedly Dr. John's. People also use it as a fake Marie Laveau tomb. So why can't you just walk around the cemetery without me? People think it's because of Marie Laveau tomb. It was vandalized. The real reason is illegal tour guides were in here, and what they do is they come in here, bust a hole in the crypt, go in here, the head's up front, right? You need the skull. So they go up there, they get the skull, bring it up front, position it just right, and make it look natural, so if you pull the brick out, you see the skull.
All right.
There was several men that were doing this. The main guy was Walter. Some licensed tour guides were doing this. Main guy that was doing this was not licensed. His name was Walter. He'd go up front, fake sweep, act like he works here. Tourists would ask him a question. He'd be like, you know what? That's interesting. Come with me. 15 minutes later, you're like, are we on a tour? Yes, you are, without a set price. And on that tour, Walter had places where he could pull out bricks and show you cool caskets and skulls. The problem is, if somebody patched that up, Walter is not very intelligent. Walter's not going to be like, oh, this is where it was, and find it. He's like, stands right here and be like, where was that? Was it here? No. Was it here? No. Also, some people would steal the skulls, unfortunately. There was a point when it was getting really bad, I would come in here, and once every 2 weeks there was a broken-in crypt. I'm one of the few tour guides that was coming here on my day off, trying to catch Walter. He finally got arrested.
Oh, this is recent.
This is recent,
wow.
2015.
Oh, wow.
Walter got arrested, broke out from work duty, and came here and started doing tours again. We're not going to be seeing Walter in a long time.
How long has it been?
2015.
What's his last name? I want to look him up.
I don't know his last name. But yeah, I knew it when I was involved. There were several doing this. Make a lot of money giving illegal tours and showing skulls and caskets. But those people didn't know that he took that skull and put it in the place.
Yeah.
They didn't know he was breaking into crypts. They should have, but they didn't.
Wait, aren't you going to show us a skull?
No.
No? Oh, come on.
But you don't notice, guys, it gets close, right? The Catholic Church lets it almost to the point of seeing bones, and then they'll patch it up.
Wow.
Look at this crypt, deteriorated all the way down to the ground. Look at this crypt. Used to be 3 stories tall, right? 2 stories tall, just came all the way down.
Yeesh.
Here's the front. Most of the musicians buried in this cemetery would get a second line funeral. Second line funerals go by my house once a week. I live 1 block away from the Charbonnet Funeral Home.
So you see all that, the New Orleans funeral. You see that.
It goes right by my house once a week.
Wow.
They start out slow, sad, and somber because it's all about you. That person's not going to be there for you anymore. They play music like A Closer Walk with Thee. Everybody's crying, heads down low. Start walking towards the family's home or the cemetery. 20, 25 minutes into it, picks up a little bit like the saints come marching in. Then about 35, 40 minutes into it, it starts rocking like I ate up the whole apple tree. People weren't even at the funeral, come out of the house, the whole neighborhood explodes with song and dance. Starts out slow, sad, and somber because it's all about you. That person's not going to be there for you anymore, but you try to end it celebratory and fun. Because you try to forget about yourself and start celebrating the person's life.
So that's it, St. Louis Cemetery number 1, right there. That's where Nicolas Cage is one day going to be in the... Well, he's going to be above, but he's going to be Nicolas Cage. Marie Laveau. Jeff, thank you so much. If you come and take the tour, which you should, to see this up close is incredible, ask for Jeff to be your tour guide. You guys are amazing. Give him a big tip. And he just blew my mind, that cemetery. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's not often where it's a fun thing to walk around a cemetery, because I'm usually looking for victims and celebrities that passed that I'm a fan of, and it's, you know, it can be sad. That was more of a fun thing to see. Nicolas Cage, I hope you live a long life. I want a Face Off Part 2. I'm going to take his face off. Alright, that's it. When I die, you know the rest. Bury me in a pyramid. Does it sound like him? I don't know if that sounds like him. In my head it kind of sounds like him, and I've been saying it for like 3 weeks on the road now. When I decided I wanted to come here to see this. When I die, bury me in a pyramid. I think it's Andy Samberg doing Nicolas Cage. It doesn't matter. Okay, peace. Thanks, Jeff. Peace. And the girls from New York that were on the trip. I think you caught a glimpse of them. They were really sweet. All right, peace. Out. I see people, I've been seeing people sitting up on the wall. Saw a few people sitting up on the wall while I was doing the tour. Very cool. Oh boy, I'm tired. But yeah, see right here, if you look here, oh here, we'll walk up here. This is around the side. I looked in here before the tour, and I thought, can I see Nicolas Cage's pyramid? Yeah, oh yeah, that is his pyramid. So yeah, there's only one pyramid. And there it is. He wants to be buried there. That's it. When I die, bury me in a pyramid. Alright. When I die, bury me in a pyramid. Okay. Let's fade to black. As I'm walking back from the cemetery, I just remember that there's a video of Nicolas Cage and Vince Neil from Motley Crue having some sort of disagreement on the streets in Vegas. Now apparently what happened was Vince Neil put his hands on a woman who was trying to approach Nicolas Cage in a restaurant wanting his autograph, and he was drunk. Vince Neil, imagine that, and allegedly. And then there's a video of them outside of the I think it's a Wynn Hotel or Wynn in Vegas, and they're having some sort of disagreement. I don't know how much of it I can play without getting copyrighted, but it's the best thing ever. And it's Nicolas Cage and Vince Neil having an argument / fight. Here it is.
Stop this now! Hey, give my range! We're not giving it. Don't do it. I love you. Stop this now! Hey, give my range! We're not giving it.